Malaysian Education Blueprint 2012 to 2013 to 2025. In fact, to me, partially I'm excited. It's a very new idea because they wanted to have a new language policy. The Malaysian government, through this blueprint, they recognize that we should actually now should encourage children from learning more than the main languages. Like, if you are in a Malay school, Malay and English not enough, you can learn other languages, Mandarin, Tamil or Arabic or whatever, like German, or you can learn. So they want to encourage learning of additional languages because they feel languages are a tool for global competition. But the point, the whole blueprint that they missed out is they failed to appreciate language is just not a language to learn for communication. Language is closely linked with two things. One is the issue of identity, the other one is culture. Identity in the sense that, like any group which has its own mother tongue language feels that the language is the language in which the particular ethnic group is willing to learn more things about themselves. And that language inherently actually tied up with what they call the root and the culture of that survival of that ethnic group. So if the government if it fails to understand this, then they may not be able to appreciate why the language is so closely tied up with culture. See, culture here means, like, if you take Tamil culture goes to about more than 2000 years of knowledge. It's knowledge. Culture is closely linked with knowledge. If you take away the knowledge and just treat it as a language, like you and me learn Japanese language, we won't know the Japanese culture. We will only know how to speak Japanese language to a Japanese because we want to transact something. But Japanese culture itself is so deeply intertwined with how they survived, how they come through difficult times, what kind of literature they have, what kind of poetry they have, what kind of scientific knowledge they would have got within their own culture. Like for Tamil language, if you just get a Chinese guy to learn Tamil, is entirely different from the Tamils actually learning Tamil to Tirukkural and this Bhakti Ilakkiyam and all those Iyalisai Nadagam. When they learn through all that, there is a vast amount of knowledge that actually gives the identity to the Tamil. But this blueprint is completely failed in addressing this component of why the language is so important for an ethnic group. You are a government. You cannot say you maintain. Who are you to maintain? We are the people, we elect you. We put you there for you to understand what we are talking so that you listen to our language and develop policies. You don't tell us you maintain. Who are you to tell you maintain? Today you sit there, tomorrow you won't be sitting there. The government gets it completely wrong. The government is what people elect to administer the country. So who are you to tell, I will maintain? We are not interested in you maintaining. We are interested, we want you to really listen and develop an education system which will harmonize all these things so that whether you are a Tamil or you are a Chinese or you are Malay, your inner potentials are enhanced and improved, and we understand each other better through our cultural identities and our respect for each other. The other point that I need to raise is also the constitution in itself is embedded with lot of identity politics. Like if you look at the constitution, the use of the word Islam, Bumiputra is intertwined in all over the place. So here you say integration, and there you say you are a Islam, you are a Muslim, and you are a Bumiputra. Why do you identify yourself by way of religion and by way of ethnicity when you want to integrate? But of course this is seditious to question all that. So one hand you create a system which you want to create what you call hegemony of influence. On the other hand, you want us to give up our cultural identities. So there is a conflict. You cannot resolve this conflict without addressing the causes of it in the first place. So if you ask me whether this blueprint will cause anything to, Tamil school system will survive. It survived through the colonial period, survives through the last. It will survive simply because the Tamils want to fight for the Tamil. It shouldn't be the case. You and me shouldn't be fighting for the Tamil schools. It's an issue for the government to decide for the betterment of the children from Tamil families, Chinese families, or Malay families, for them to learn in this manner so that they can improve their potentials. And that's what states all over the place in so many studies done by the international organizations like UNESCO and UNDP.